Aloha and good morning. Um, it's story time with Kahea. So, gosh, where do I start? My spirit guides asked me to make this video and rip the masks off of certain people. Um, about an incident, an ongoing, an ongoing spiritual war, and I guess I can start with my family, my siblings, very, very karmic and evil. Um, so let's just start with Rhonda. She goes by Honani Borges. Um, and this plot, airplane coming, of trying to destroy me, basically my whole life. Who collaborated. Well, I have three siblings right now. Rhonda, Keith Manzano, Angela Manzano, and a group of people. Angela, I think, being the most sadistic. Um, they have been doing spell work on me pretty much my whole life to block me, to curse me, um, to siphon my energy, my mana, to steal my business ideas, my uh, divine gifts, and collaborated with a whole community, Kipohulu in Hanamaui. And certain people there who became my handlers. One being a warlock who became my lover, um, just for the reason to steal my inheritance. Um, and Aaron Lindbergh, well, my lover was Eric Moom, um, who was doing magic on me the entire duration of our relationship. He was the head of a coven, um, teaching people magic. Um, and his ex-wife, or I don't even, maybe they were still married in the spirit. Um, and a bunch of landowners there in Kipohulu that was doing well from siphoning my mana and creating businesses and um, using my gifts to create financial success. Um, I lived in a place called Halimano, owned by Jorge Yant, who is a spiritualist that leads meditation groups as a nonprofit, and it's like a vipassana, but it's called Kepasana. These people all collaborated to bring my destruction, but God had different plans. And basically, I was the trap and the bait to take this organization down. Um, they turned the whole community of Kipohulu against me, had them all using magic to attack me. Um, and recruited my own children and weaponized them against me. And that would be Sherelle Love, Leisha Love Baksa, and Lindsay Baksa. In this collaboration, the main ones would have been my siblings, Rhonda, Keith, Angela, my ex-lover, Eric Moom, and his ex-lover, well, they were still involved, Erin Lindbergh, the granddaughter of the famous Charles Lindbergh. And they used their connections within the justice system, judges, lawyers, and made false claims against me. They were surveillancing my life like the Truman Show. And they have this network, like a series, I guess, that a bunch of people are watching and harvesting my mana through these videos. And they run a brothel, they do human sacrifices, child sacrifices, traffic humans, drugs, guns, just sex trafficking, energy trafficking. They were trafficking my mana. Just evil, hateful actions. And they were doing death spells and rituals. We lived right next to a graveyard, and they were doing graveyard magic. Erin Lindbergh had full access to the Palapala Ho'omau church where Charles Lindbergh is buried. And they were just running this scam. They put me in a fraudulent false marriage, forging my signature to have access to my inheritance. And they were living pretty freaking large. And had me basically imprisoned in a very isolated spot in Maui. It was 2 to 3 hours, well, about 2 hours um, to the main town. And my entire family was involved in this scheme. And God woke me up and showed me exactly what they were doing. Um, they run nonprofits that deal with children so they can traffic the children. And oh, I mean, it's just ridiculous. Just ridiculous. And when I woke up and cut ties to my family, to my lover, and to my ex landlord friend, um, and just called back my energy from all of them. They went into a panic. They were hiring um, practitioners because they couldn't get the job done themselves. And there would be people coming to Halimano to do spell work on me. Basically, they just wanted me dead so they could collect my life insurance and have full access to my inheritance. And they are right now facing legal issues and still trying to take me out. Um, so, yeah, if anything happened to me, which it won't because my spirit team won't allow it, um, yeah, they would be fully guilty for that, especially after I make this video. Um, they've been trying to destiny swap, reattach uh, spiritual cords to me. And just last night, I saw a black Dodge truck outside the fence here. And I saw a gentleman in there. Basically, it looked like he was talking to himself, but he was doing spell work. But none of it will work. My spirit team is way too powerful for anything they can send against me. So 5 months after I cut my ex-lover off from my energy, I moved from Maui. I was able to escape that. See, what they were doing was using my inheritance. Yeah, they were living good and keeping me isolated in a little cabin, like tiny, like 8 by 12, which it was in a beautiful location. Kipahulu is gorgeous. There's a lot of dark energy there, but God put me at Halemano to protect me. This is where my spirits felt that I would be safe and they could protect me there. But they were going around slandering my name, saying that I was a prostitute, saying that I was spreading STDs in the community, and taking that to court so they could claim that I wasn't fit to handle my inheritance. They were telling everybody that I was crazy, that I was standing at the cliff, looking over the cliff, like that I was depressed and that I was suicidal, which was basically a setup for when I did die. Well, what if their plan did go through? Um, that if I died, they could say that I committed suicide. Um, the plan went so far that my ex lover bought me guns. He bought me a shotgun and he bought me a handgun, and thought that if they did spell work um, to get me depressed and suicidal, that I would off myself. And the plan was for for him to basically get me into a engagement and then abandon me, and that I would be depressed and commit suicide. That didn't work. No, instead, I called them out for it, which really, really got them upset. Uh, they went hard on the death spells, on the graveyard magic, on the animal sacrifices. Um, Now, this group is responsible for um, spiritual assassination. One of the things I noticed when I moved to Kipuhulu was all the missing persons signs and notices around there on the bulletin boards, and I knew that it had to do with trafficking. Um, and I knew that they wanted my grandson, Lono, because he also carries the same energy as me. Um, my daughter had a home birth there in Kipuhulu. Did not register him. He doesn't have a birth certificate or a social security number, and he's basically invisible. They've been siphoning his energy. He's been having seizures. My ex lover, Eric Moon, was having multiple affairs. He didn't call us official, but he did say at a gathering that we were a couple. So I thought that we were officially a couple, but in the background, he was having tantric sex and running around spreading HIV around the community. He was having sex with both men and women, one of the women being my daughter, who had his baby. My grandson, Noah, is my ex-lover's son, and he's beautiful. It was an elaborate setup from the beginning that they were going to steal my inheritance. They were going to steal my spiritual gifts. and then they were going to either keep me like the golden goose, locked away so they could continue to siphon my energy and drain me. And when I cut the ties, they couldn't siphon from me anymore. So they tried to murder me. And there's, in the community at Halimano, they were all collaborating. That's the owner, Jorge, the manager, Mark, one of his lovers, Ali. And Mark was also Eric's lover. Chuck, Lindsay, Johnny, and they had put surveillance, hidden cameras in my cabin, in the community kitchen, and I saw on the Wi-Fi Listen and Listen Plus. I think Listen Plus was sound and video. They tried everything they could to keep me there so they could get the work done. But when the opportunity and the door opened, I sprinted right through it and came to Reno, Sparks technically. And I had a feeling that my daughter Lindsay might be involved beforehand. And when I got here, I saw that it was true, that she had also been receiving money. She was either bribed or she was just part of the whole scheme. And I know that there's a court case going on right now, about my character and using AI video to say that I was a prostitute. Jorge had a whole team working on this, and there was hidden cameras recording my intimate relations with my ex, Eric Moon, and he was recording us having sex and sharing those videos on the dark web. They did have a porn, what should I call it? That's how they would make money. They also had a brothel, and they were laundering money. It's so over the top. It's hard to believe. And every time I would call them out on it, they would just say that I was crazy. But God is exposing everything. And, my ancestors and my spirit guides, the angels, the Creator, is bringing it all to light, and they can't stop it. I warned them there was a storm coming, and I'm not going to stop it. So basically, this video was to drop names and what they did. Aaron Lindbergh, Eastern Star, Eric the Mason, and there are multiple organizations involved in this scam. And basically what I saw was them using their clout, their status, their connections to the police, to the court systems, to insurance agencies, to medical establishments. To medical establishments, creating false medical records stating that I had STDs and that I was intentionally spreading them around. And the truth is, Eric was my only lover during the relationship, and he was going around spreading, intentionally spreading incurable STDs. And my daughter was a target. And one of the plans was to not just take me out, because if they took me out, I couldn't protect my children. And I mean, even though they recruited my children and weaponized them against me, the long-term plan was to also take out my children so they could take the full inheritance, and to destroy my bloodline. There's gonna be major RICO charges against this group. It's all coming out. There's gonna be divine justice, which is happening as we speak. But gosh, there's so much to tell, and right now I'm just here to rip the masks off of these evil, corrupt people, the corrupt judges, lawyers, medical staff, and my family, my ex-lover and friend, and the whole community that was involved